Good morning. Happy Wednesday, beautiful people. It is me and B. Lee, and we are here to talk about business formation and some common mistakes that people should want to avoid. We're kind of going to do this one a little bit different because I told B that she can actually just interview me, right? But I did complete with like a full presentation for you guys. We are going to record this, and if you are a member of the Tax Revenue Accelerator or the TMB Tax Institute, then the live replay will be available in the groups, as well as on. I think we'll probably post this on the YouTube channel too. Maybe.
Yes, absolutely.
Okay, awesome. So I kind of really did this informal. I didn't come with a script or anything of that nature. So,
but I'm ready though.
Okay, so how this even came about is we were on a podcast a couple weeks ago, and some of the guys that we were on the podcast with was kind of like unaware of our business acumen and what it is that we know. And they started asking a lot of questions. And we do know that there are tons of myths that are out there in regards to how to start your own business, how to set your business up, what components that you need in order for your business to be compliant and ethical. Since business has been big, or at least the propriety of owning a business, especially since COVID-19 happened, and then there were tons of like grants and programs that were available for people, entrepreneurship has definitely soared.
Yes.
The problem is that a lot of people have missing components to their business, so they're not operating in a format that is going to be lucrative for them. All right. So a lot of people leave a lot of money on the table, whether it is grant money, whether it is funding for their business, just simply because they do not have their paperwork and their stuff in order. So without further ado, I'm going to bust some of the myths from LLC Twitter, Tax TikTok, and whatever else that they put on the blue apps to tell you guys how you guys should be structuring your business and what is necessary in order for you to operate compliantly. Plus a lot of common formation mistakes. One of the things that a lot of people ask me is why I moved. And I moved because it was entirely too expensive to be able to operate a compliant business in the state of California. I had gotten to the point where I sit on the board of a couple of different nonprofits, and then I also have a couple of different LLCs. And California is one of those states that has an AMT.
Yes.
Which means that it's an alternative minimum tax of $800 for every LLC that I had. So if you run that up by the fact that I had quite a few, you know what I mean? I'm thousands of dollars in debt before I even come outside and make a dollar.
Right.
That being said, moving to a different state not only helped me to be able to alleviate some of those AMT fees, but it also helped me to be able to alleviate some of the laws of California. Like, for example, with my credit repair company, I had to have this like $1 million bond. Now I still have the bond because of the clientele that I have. But the startup cost was significantly lower. Incorporating out here was significantly lower. And one of the most important things is there's no franchise tax fee. So when I decided to switch my franchise over to this state, I saved significant amounts of money. So much so that I went and I decided to open up another franchise, but that's neither here nor there. So rule number one of business formation is do not get caught slipping. You want to make sure that your legal and your asset protections are correct. In our business course, we do give you the links for you to be able to go to each individual state for you to click and fill out all of your own paperwork. But if paperwork is not your sleuth, right? You can go to companies that are very inexpensive. One of my favorite ones is IncFile, INCFILE.com. It roughly costs about $45 to $50 for most states in order for you to be able to incorporate. That does include the state fee. It's super low. And if you incorporate several times over, all of your stuff is listed in one cool location, right? Another thing is a lot of people think that they're just going to jump outside and get business credit and funding benefits. Life doesn't work like that. You actually have to build it. Your business credit profile is just as sleuthy as your personal credit profile, right? Run. Ooh, I need to drink some tea.
Y'all, I mentioned that tea this morning. I told her if I don't eat breakfast and I see her sip that tea, I'm gonna be hungry.
Y'all know how I am about my tea. So, so if you're in the process of thinking that you're just going to jump outside and have all of this business credit, it's a profile that you actually have to build and curate. And it's not something as easy as dumping. Like, you can go and build this LLC, not be liable for the credit, and it's not going to come back and get you, because it will. Hold on. I'm getting a little bit of a
feedback.
Yeah. Okay, sorry about that. All right, so let me see. Next, the primary reason to incorporate is basically to protect yourself from legal action against the business. So this doesn't mean that if you acquire bills in your business name that you do not have to pay those bills if that business goes defunct. It's actually quite the opposite. You're still responsible for any of that business debt. What happens is they cannot come after your personal assets in regards to that business debt. Just like if you had something happen in your personal life, maybe you had a car accident or an unfortunate series of events and you end up owing someone, or you file bankruptcy on your personal side. If your business is set up properly, then your business assets could not be attacked, right? Which means that they cannot force you to liquidate your business in order for you to take care of your personal debt and vice versa. So that's the main number one reason of incorporation, is to establish yourself as a separate entity from your business itself. Now, the tax implications from being an LLC, if you're a single person, then you're going to be filing on the same form. If it's a partnership and it's you and your husband or you and your spouse, you and your wife, whatever that case may be, then you can actually still use yourself as a pass-through entity and file as a qualified joint venture, and you can still file on your regular tax return. Now, when B&I decided to go into partnership, that's a totally different form, because as much as I love Sister Girl, we didn't know each other since we was 8, we
Yeah.
have to file on the partnership return in order for all of the business transactions that we do
Yeah.
together, right? So
Exactly.
one of the good things about being a partnership transaction is your business is only your liability is only mitigated to your percentage of what you own in the business, right? So say for example, I'm the breadwinner and I owe child support, right? So I have to pay got to pay $1,000 of child support to my husband every month. My ownership in the business can only be offset by what it is that I owe, as long as my business is in compliance, meaning that I have all of my records up to date. I filed my statements of information if that's what the state requires for me to do. We have our meetings that we have to have on a regular basis that updates our financials and shows that the business is actually really in operation. So the business protection only works if you operate it as a business. In order to have a business, it's got to be a business, right? It just
Yeah.
can't be on paper. All right.
Right.
So first things that you should do when you're going to set up your business is establish what your brand identity is. You want to know what you're going to name your business, and you want to make sure that even though it's relevant to your niche, that you do the back end research. Just because the name is cute and it's trendy does not mean that it's going to be able to work. If it's something like Mary Maids, we all know that Mary Maids already exist, so you can't pop up and call yourself Mary Maids. You know what I mean? There are
Right.
trademark liabilities that you have to take into consideration. You do not want to go about the business of building something and then somebody comes back with the trademark and sends you a cease and desist. So
Yep.
you want to make sure that you're doing the proper research when you're searching for your brand identity. You also want to make sure that your brand is going to resonate with your target audience. Just because it sounds cute to you does
Yeah.
not mean that it's going to sell. So it's highly important that you do the market research before you jump out there with a name. You want to also mitigate your brand liability, right? When I say that, what I mean is you don't want to put yourself in a position where you're offering guarantees or you're promising something that you cannot deliver, right? So your marketing is very important. You don't come out with a trash brand. Okay, so since we said we was going to do this interview style, go girl, because I know you got a list of what you're going to ask.
I do. But now, okay, so you guys, she covered the LLC portion of it. But what I will add to that is Tamika and I had a conversation earlier this month about when you trademark your name. Okay. So in the South, since she and I are both, I'm in Louisiana, she's in Oklahoma. So out here, you can, well, we call it DBA when we're from Cali, right? If we've either closed the business or we're doing something different, we DBA it, right? But they don't do that here. It's called trademark. So what I was telling Tamika, what I do personally is I will buy my name for 128 days just to make sure no one comes up saying that, hey, you know, this is my name. This is what I'm operating. I've been in business for 5 years. You know, I need you to cease and desist. No problem. It only cost me $25. Okay. And then if no one pops up after those 128 days, I now will purchase the name as my own. Okay. So that's one bit that I needed to add when it comes to the LLC. Now, but what I do want to ask you is, could you get into why it's important when someone is opening their LLC to have a DUNS number.
Yes. Okay. So that is when we get into the credit portion of it. And the DUNS number and building that is very important. Okay. So really quickly, dang, okay. Let me cover this real quick.
Okay.
Attorneys aren't cheap. So again, ink file is one of the reasons why I recommend for that. But depending upon the type of business that you're going to get into, oh hey sweetie, I see the message. I will get back to you as soon as I possibly can. Okay. Because attorneys aren't cheap, that's why it's always best to be able to do your due diligence up front. And then you want to also make sure that you are the registered agent in your state. A
Hmm.
lot of people like to turn it over to other folks, and if you're not going to remember, if you're ADHD and like my ADHD, it
Yeah.
sometimes works for you to have a registered agent, but you also have to make sure that you take into consideration that they have to update that information and it has to be current. Because if the state is trying to get in contact with you, if they have questions, if you're going to verify your business through SAM, if you're trying to get government contracts, you want to make sure that the registered agent is going to be responding timely and updating that information. So that's one of the highest precipices of how people can fall out of compliance when they don't update their information with the state of with the state filing.
Hmm.
All right, so money and friends can be bit mitzy. Business is business. Formalized agreements are necessary. Again, like I said, me and B, we love each other, but if it ain't on paper, it ain't real.
At all.
You have
At
to look
all.
at business, especially when you're going into business with people, as a relationship. It's just like a marriage. Marriage is a contract.
Yeah.
Business is a contract. We have to write everything out. We need to know the percentages. We need to know whose responsibilities are what. And if that information updates, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Me and B looking to take on somebody else. If we get a third partner over here, then guess what? We've got to write up all those contracts all over
All
again.
over again. Yeah.
So, although attorneys aren't cheap, I'm going to give you guys a gem. Dang it, what's it called? Legal Shield. Legal Shield, I think, is like
Yes.
$49 a month, right?
Yeah.
You can get a lot of your stuff taken care of under that umbrella. And I think that they even do an official USTPO trademark
They
for
do.
$600. It's a one-time thing for the entire lifetime that you own it, but for $600 you can get a trademark. You can't beat that with a stick when most people charge anywhere between $1,800 to $2,500
Yeah.
out the gate just to start the trademarking process for you. So let me see what else, because I'm trying to get to business credit. That's what she wants. Oh, the annual reports. Unexpected business bees. Okay, so let professionals do their work. If you know that you do not have a background in accounting, if you ain't never picked up QuickBooks in your life, if you cannot remember to snap the pictures of all of your receipts, then I highly suggest that you get yourself into an automated bookkeeping software. QuickBooks Online is an app you can put on your phone. You can download it. You can literally snap the pictures. If not, you can go old school if you got the money and you really want to pay for it. And I stress the fact of have the money because a lot of people think that bookkeeping is supposed to be cheap. It's not. It's a
No.
tedious process. If you show up with a shoebox, we will charge you $1,500.
Yes. And we start, yes, and we literally start at 1,500. There is no negotiating that.
Um, and the reason why that is because your annual reports are literally the meat of your business.
Yes.
If you do not understand how to read a report and your bookkeeper or your accountant is not teaching you, then you probably need to start talking to someone else. But
Yeah.
understanding how to read and know what your financial reports are forecasting, the trends that are in your business, so that you know when you should be dumping your inventory, when you should be buying, when you should have something going on sale because it's the peak season. Being able to know your financial trends are highly important in business. And if you're not taking a look at your quarterly, monthly, and annual reports, then you really aren't in business. And I really, really, really want you to go sit down and take a bookkeeping class or an accounting
Yes.
class or hire a professional.
Yeah.
All right. Deadlines are detrimental. A lot of people spend more money on fines and fees that are unnecessary just because they do not pay attention. They're not filing their taxes on time. They're getting fines. They're not filing their payroll taxes on time. You know what I mean? They're coming up with unexpected fines and fees, overdraft charges because they're not paying attention to what their banking balances are, what their banking trends are. So you have to assess what the risks are versus the cost. Yes, you might be spending $500 a month for a bookkeeper, but if you're spending $500 a month and they're worth their weight in gold and they're actually giving you the reports and the information and the data that is necessary for your business to flourish, that $500 that you're spending could turn into $1,500 of net profit,
Mm-hmm.
So assess versus the risk. And if you can't afford it, then you got to do it yourself. Put on that jack of trade hats, take a small bookkeeping course. They have them everywhere. What's the Udemy has decent bookkeeping courses for like $15-$20. You know what I mean?
Yes.
I'm trying to give y'all a business on a budget here. Coursera has courses. I want to say probably like anywhere from $99 to $199 for quick bookkeeping. But this is something
YouTube.
that you can, but see, here's the thing in regards to YouTube, because even we have a YouTube channel. It's
Mm-hmm.
your learning style.
Yes.
For someone that is going to learn accounting, it's easier if you learn it static,
Mm-hmm.
principles in static, as opposed to this is the way that I do it.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
So that's what my recommendation for anyone that's starting off on business is to take a paper course. You know what I mean? Something that's instruction where you're not actually watching someone do the video.
Mm-hmm.
That's the way my ADHD brain learns. All right, so it's money upstairs. All right, so we didn't got to the good part. So
Right.
unlocking business credit. So in order for you to be able, once you get all of your financials together, and now it's time for you to actually take a return in regards to that money. Hold on, because this flashing is going to be the death of me. I can't do it. Okay, there we go. Because as long as that thing was gonna keep, please don't drive me crazy.
Lord.
So, when you go to get business credit, you have to make sure that your business is actually set up properly. And when I say set up properly, I'm literally meaning where your address is located. Is your business in a business zone address? If it's not, when people go to look it up, you're not going to get the high offers of credit. Your
Right.
SEO, can I easily Google your business? Does it come up? Does it have a Google page? Does it have several follow-up backup meta links that are going to tell me more about your business? When the person did your website, did they create the meta tags? I'll, before this is over, I'll actually go and show you exactly what I mean in regards to meta tags. Inconsistent info. When I go to search up your business, are there 14 different phone numbers? Do you have a phone number back from 1998 when you first opened up the business that doesn't work anymore? Are the links broken? When I go to click to find your business, is the link going to give me a 404? All of that inconsistent info would deter someone who's going to give you money, right?
Mm-hmm.
Improper high risk NAICS codes, one of the number ones. If
Yes.
you're operating
Touch
in
on that.
a high risk field, you want to make sure that you're mindful of what your NAICS codes are. What those are the codes that we use to file your taxes, right? Um, and it's very high risk ones are auto loans, auto dealers, credit repair. Taxes can be seen as high risk as well. Let me think of another one. Mostly retail, real estate, anything that has to do with check cashing or loaning money of any sorts. All of those are very high risk NAICS codes that will get you denied for loans out the gate without you building a full profile. And then last but not least, this is a no-brainer, not paying your bills on time or in full. When people give you credit, and I'm going to give you a couple of different options of where you guys can go and get immediate business credit, there is going to be some investment though. But when people give you credit and you don't pay your bills on time, ain't nobody going to give you no more money. And contrary to what a lot of people believe, you cannot go and dump the LLC and just start all over again. It follows
Mm-hmm.
you.
Yep.
It definitely follows you. Even if you're not giving them your social security number, you're still giving them identity points for you. Anyone who has done anything in the credit space, whether you've had your credit repaired or you've got amazing credit, we all know that we don't just use credit reports anymore for us to track ourselves. There are tons, hundreds
Yeah.
of data furnishers that can capture your data that will still link it to you, whether they have your social security number or not. So stop thinking that just because you didn't sign a PG, that these folks don't know where you are and will not attach some shit to your credit report.
Right.
They'll staple this shit to your credit report,
Oh yeah,
right?
they will. Yeah, they will. For sure they will.
Um, so let me see. What's next? Rock solid business. So you need to have a compliant business entity, right? So here's the things that you need to do in order to go and establish your credit profile. Your state incorporation. It is required that you incorporate. If you are sole proprietor attempting to get business credit, understand everything's going through your social security number. They do not care that you have an EIN number. In fact, the EIN number really has minimal to do with your business credit, right? It's more in regards to filing taxes, right? So you have to have your state incorporation. Then you do need your EIN number from the federal, and then you're going to go to the DBA, Dun and Bradstreet, and you want to go and get your Dun and Bradstreet number, right? So state incorporation, federal number. If your local if your local locality requires that you have a DBA, then you're going to have to go and register with the paper. Let people know that you are going to be transacting business under this name, which is what B was talking about earlier. They call it trademark down in Louisiana. In
Mm-hmm.
California, they called it DBA or doing business as.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas you can have an LLC, and it might be I might be like TMB Tax LLC, right? But then I've got TMB Tax Bureau, TMB Tax Institute, TMB Tax and Associates, and then all of those would be DBAs that are listed under the business, right? So then you have to file and pay your taxes on time. You know, if you have back tax liability and your business is not in good standing, and how will they know this? Well, they go to the Secretary of State website and they figure it out if you paid your taxes. If you're in compliance, did you file your statements of information on time? Is the address for your registered agent, is that good or bad? Has it been returned mail? They'll shut you down, and that's how they'll know. SEO, hey, it's going to come up again and again when we go to search your business. Can we find you? That is the information
Right.
consistent and doesn't work. You also want to make sure that you have your systems, because in order for you to have a business, it really does have to be a business. A lot of people have businesses on paper, and a lot of these lenders have gotten smart. They're not just accepting the standard profile for business that they used to be. You know what I mean? You used to just be able to throw up a website, have a phone number that worked, you know what I mean? And maybe a bank statement, and you'd be possible for you to go in and get a loan. Mm-mm. They want to see 3 to 6 months of bank statements, and they don't want to see the paper bank statements anymore. They want to log into the back end of your bank to
Yeah.
get access to your information. If you're going up against the SBA and you're trying to secure loans, if you're trying to get grants and fundings from SAM, then you're going to want to have a business plan. They want to see all of those financials, and they want to see that you're in the green. So this is not for people that have been filing a business loss.
Right.
Okay.
They'll do that a lot out here, you guys. They will definitely file a loss and be okay with that. And it's like, that's not always okay. So when they come to myself or Tamika, and then we're like, okay, well, this is what you're dealing with. Well, now you have 50 million questions and a problem, you
And
know,
yeah, a high problem. So if your business is not profitable, you have to remember nobody's really going to want to give you any money.
at all.
And when I say money, I'm not just speaking in terms of you being able to go and get a fuel credit card. I'm not just talking
Mhm.
about you being able to order office supplies. The type of business funding that I'm referencing will allow you to be able to walk into the bank and actually get yourself some capital. This is for people that want to go and buy assets for their business. Maybe you want to get a truck. Maybe you want to get a building. You know what I mean? Whatever the case may be. So systems, business plans, financial, SEO setup, all those taxes filed and paid on time. And then we also want to talk about how you want to pick your clientele, right? Um, what kind of people do you want to serve, right? A lot of people get into business and they just know that they want to make money, but they don't know who they're servicing. This information is important because it has to go into your business plan.
Yes.
You have to outline who you're servicing, what their pain points are, and how you're going to solve that pain point. And then you have to go a step further and tell them why your solution is better than your competitor. So it also is going to require some market research. All right, so take a minute. One thing you can do when you're coming up with the type of people that you want to serve is examine the potential area, engage who's coming to this particular popular part of the city. What's it known for? What are the events? I know in the Bay Area, we did a lot of renovations. So real estate was huge out there. So when I
Mhm.
decided what type of accountant I was going to be, it was real estate.
Yeah.
That's my niche, and that's what I delved into. Now I had a backup of real estate. Y'all got to stop messaging me on Facebook. Y'all drive me crazy. Stop it.
Oh, the audience is messaging you?
No, it's like my inbox is just like going crazy. I don't think I turned on Do Not Disturb. Give me just a second. There,
Oh,
there we go. Um, so when I decided what it was that I wanted to do, that helped me to be able to hone down, and I was able to go and secure the funding that I wanted because my business plan was more niched. Now, that can also backfire, right?
yes.
Because the niche has to be broad enough for it to make sense for someone to want to give you money.
Hmm. Yeah.
All right, B, questions? So far.
So, what is the NAV number? You brought that up in the last podcast that we were on, and the young man knew exactly what it was, but me out here in Louisiana, I'm sitting up here like, what? What is that? And I'm like, I need to get it for all of my LLCs.
Where is it? Let me get through it.
So while she's looking for that, you guys, I also want to say this too, because I'm about to be petty Betty. Just because you let your friend set up your LLC does not mean it was set up properly. Because folks will proudly be like, oh, well, I've been setting up people's LLCs, and I'm sure you've been doing it wrong. Because if you set up their LLCs, there should be other additional numbers behind it. Also, those of you that have a business that feel like paying for your, I just lost it. Hold on. Oh, when you're updating your business, you had said it earlier today. Why am I having a senior moment? Oh my God. Oh, okay. Putting your business in good standings. Pay that fee every year. It's $35 in Louisiana. Pay it. Because guess what? If you try to go to the bank to open up a bank account, that's the first thing they're going to look up. They're going to tell you, oh, your business is not in good standings. You need to pay the $35.
Yeah, absolutely.
I hear it so much out here. Well, why am I paying for my business to be relevant? Because you can lose that mug. That's why. If it's not in good standings, pay the necessary fees. And then there's people that have businesses that have been operating for God knows how long, and it's not even a legal business. You have a cute little name and everything, but you're not an actual business. So stop advertising as a business.
I actually had that happen to one of the young ladies that I was helping with over tax season, where she had a business for her tax business, and she got into a dispute with someone, and Home Sis went and trademarked her business name.
Oh, Lord.
So,
okay, wait a minute. So listen, y'all, again, I'm Petty Betty, right? Y'all hear all the time that you can trademark your name, right? I'm pretty sure I'm gonna go to hell for this, but whatever. So a friend of mine is going through a divorce, and I said, trademark your name. She's like, wait a minute. I said, no, trademark your married name. I said, because if they start a business with that name, guess who they gotta pay? You. You own it. You own it. So you guys got to be careful, because there are people that will be petty.
Well, so there's a difference. Wait a minute, because it's not just in trademarking the name itself. So let me be clear. The name has to be trademarked in the industry that is relevant. So
right.
If I say Diamond Financial, right? And Diamond Financial is a tax company, then another company couldn't come and do Diamond Financial.
Mm-mm.
But if somebody did Diamond Financial and they're a leasing company, then that's something
different.
Then that's something totally different. Now, the brand recognition is still construed, but they're two totally different NAICS, they're two totally different NAT codes. And even though they're both in the financial field, they service two different types of clientele.
Right.
Do you get what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah.
It's just kind of like that debate that they had with Lori Harvey and Kim Kardashian, where they both used to name their business Skin, and it was both in skincare. So that's why the trademark came into play, because they were both attempting to occupy the same space with similar branded names.
Right.
So I should be clear with that. All right. So things that you have to do in order for you to be able to get business credit. You have to have the business formed.
Yes.
It has to be in good standing. You need to have a business bank account.
Yes.
You need an EIN number. You need to know what your NAICS code is. You need a Dun & Bradstreet number. This is free. Do not pay for it. A little patience goes a long way.
Yeah.
It can generally take anywhere from a day to a week. They used to mail them, and now they that's how
it comes to your email now.
To your email, but it can take a day or so.
Write the number down if you lose the email.
I've seen them come over immediately as well, so it's whatever with that.
Yeah.
And then you need your NAV account. So you would go to nav.com, and NAV actually can double as your first trade line.
Nice.
So when you go to NAV, I want to say it's been a while since I've done this. Let me look and see. When you go to NAV, it's like $39.
Mm-hmm.
And you provide them with all of your information, but you have to have your Dun and Bradstreet number first, because that's actually kind of really your credit number.
Yeah.
And from NAV, you're able to open up and monitor your credit profiles both with Experian
Mm-hmm.
and Equifax Business. And you'll also get what they call a PAYDEX score based on the trade line accounts that you choose to open.
Mm-hmm.
So for those that are in the group, I've got a list of all of the trade lines that you guys can go and open. I'll be sure that I get that listed for you guys, but it's simple. Quill is one that will give you money. Sometimes you got to give them $100. Granger will give you money. Uline will give you money. Those are tier ones.
Oh, so will Fair. If you're in the health and beauty,
Yes.
or if you're selling products, Fair, soon as you sign up, they'll let you know how much. Now it's weird because of another business friend of mine. I think they started her out with 500. Well, I was telling her, I said, well, I'm not going to order from this. I said, because they need you to pay up front. I'm not trying to do that. She's like, oh no, she found it. She went into my thing and look, she's like, you have $1,500 credit. I said, I've never used it. She said, well, you have it.
And Fair is
Yes,
FAIRE.com.
ma'am. Yes, it
By the way,
is.
guys. Yeah. So and then after that, you just move to tier two. Credit unions. I advise people to go and open up your business bank account with a local credit union because they love our money.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Having a business banking relationship with someone, with a credit union, someone that you can walk in, shake their hand, and they know your name. They can see the money that you're transacting. They know that you're serious about your business, and you're more likely to get money.
Yes.
For those of you that have the access to be able to get into Navy Federal,
Do so. And
mm-hmm.
if you can't, you can definitely negotiate with them as to why and what's the necessary steps to do so. If you're in Louisiana, Carter Federal is going to be your better option because they deal with SBC loans here. They're directly affiliated with them. So the likelihood that you'd be able to get a business loan, is probable. However, pay it back. Now, don't get discouraged if you get around somebody that's like, yeah, I can pay 10 grand back in 30 days. That's cute for you. Make sure that you're honest, you know what I'm saying, in your business, because that's fine. I mean, you paid it back in 30 days. That's nice.
I don't, it's really funny because I had a client hit me up yesterday and was like, hey, Tamika, I need to get a business loan. You know what I mean? Can you refer me to someone? And I do not partner with anyone who does business loans because I tell people to go to their bank. Now, there are tons of people, like if you say business loan too loud on this blue app, you're going to start getting ads.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
But check this out, y'all. Y'all only need a 580 credit score to go get a loan from the SBA.
Mm-hmm.
You don't need good credit to go get a
Mm-hmm.
loan for a business. You just need to be able to prove that your business has the ability to make money. You just
Yes.
need to prove that your business is profitable. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And like she said, have a
90,
niche.
120 days of income, of positive green income that you can show on your business. Oh, yeah, they'll
Yeah.
give you some money.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely, especially if your business is set up properly.
Mm-hmm.
And they got the lowest interest rate.
That part.
Stop
That
paying
part.
people 200% interest for you to have a little fun. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Anyone who tells you that you have to pay them back daily, it's a scam.
Yeah.
Don't do it.
Yeah.
Don't
And
do
it's okay to change your bank account from a bank to a credit union. You
don't
have
do
every right to do so.
I actually recommend that people have both. I
For
would
their
say
business.
get yourself I hate the big banks. And I say that with all the muster in my heart.
Ah,
I just
girl.
I do because they don't play nice. They don't play fair for small business owners, and they really do not value our dollar.
Mm-mm.
But there is a certain modicum of convenience. So you know what I mean? I would never be with Chase and I wouldn't be with Wells Fargo.
Don't do me. I got Chase. No, ma'am. Although they were responsible for the Titanic, I'm just saying, but y'all didn't hear that from me. Okay, carry on.
Them fees, baby, because they like to they'll be raping you forever in regards to
Oh, they will, because they charge you almost $15 to monitor your money. It's like I can do it myself. Don't worry.
Mhm.
I can do it.
I think their overdraft fees, what, like $32, $33 or something crazy?
$35.
Yeah. See, like,
Mhm.
why? Why
It
would I?
is.
Why would I pay you to tell me that I was broke already?
Well, out here in Louisiana, this is what Chase did. They were smart. So everybody knows about the Chase Liquid Card. That's for people that can't really get with Chase at the moment. They're really monitoring you when you have a Chase Liquid Card, right? You're pretty much a prospect, to eventually be changed over to a regular bank account. So there was this big thing about 5 years ago called a second chance account. Well, Chase Bank was on there. And so a lot of people, went ahead and went with Chase. At first, I never thought I could get with Chase. I went to go get a Chase Liquid Card, was done with it. And they were like, oh, no, you can get a regular bank account. One thing I will say about Chase is if your bank account is closed, they're a little bit more forgiving about you paying it back and then they open it back up. Whereas some banks won't do that.
Wells Fargo will do the same thing. I know that they're for a while that they have a second chance program, but I also know that they do predatory loans. You know what I
They
mean?
do.
So
Yes,
it's
they
not
do.
so it's not necessarily to me the fact that they will give you a bank account. It's just the fact of what they do with the money that they do get. And I'm not inclined to give my money to people that aren't going to loan the money to people that look like me. So
Exactly.
so that
Exactly.
being so that being said, which is why I always encourage people to have credit union accounts. But you do need to have a mainstream bank. So personally, like I had Navy Federal, but then what do we have? Bank of America. Also cannot stand them.
Girl.
um,
Oh my God.
but I would definitely recommend a mainstream bank over a fintech bank. So those of
Mhm.
you that have your money stashed in fintech banks, it's not really that safe and secure. So
Right.
definitely you'll want to monitor that. All right, I guess I can take whatever other questions you got, and then we'd go into this
Girl,
news.
listen, you ran through it. Okay, one last one though, because a lot of people don't think about this. So all of you pandemic businesses, okay, that didn't set this up right, you set it up out of desperation and didn't know what the hell you were doing. Do you have insurance? Now listen, if you can't afford, now Tamika may disagree with me. However, if you cannot afford the big main insurances, what has helped me with the budget that I was on, right? Because Tamika knows my story. I've had to build myself from up under the dirt, and so and I'm still not done crawling, y'all. So let me just tell you that. But I used to use Next Insurance, so like with me being a personal trainer, if I have to train outside, I go through Next Insurance. It's day insurance. I can use it for the day and then I'm done with it. It's not something that I have to commit myself to. So, anytime there's an event somewhere and I've had to be the caterer there, I use Next Insurance. Tell them specifically what I need, and then we're done with it. Now, again, if you cannot afford the big insurance companies, that would be your option, but don't stay there for long because trust me, if you read the fine print, the payout is not great at all.
Let me
It's
ask
not.
you this: how much was Next Insurance charging you?
So, okay, so for what I needed, like during the pandemic, I trained outside, right?
Mhm.
So per month, I think I might have been paying like $35, which wasn't much. It would just cover if somebody tripped and fell or something like that, or if my location that day wasn't exactly the safest space for us to be in, meaning if the terrain wasn't even, then
Okay, so
that
let's
would
just say
cover
I'm
that.
done real quick. Because what was that, like general liability insurance in case
Yeah.
anything must
Yep.
happen? Okay, so
Uh-huh.
$35 a month for 12 months is $420. For a couple bucks more, you could have got
Mhm.
the Hartford for the full year for 500, and then that would have been full. So it's just
What's it called?
Hartford.
Hartford.
Yep,
HEART.
yep. I'll send you the link for it.
Okay.
And then also, who has really, really good insurance for businesses? Progressive. Progressive has a really nice business owner policy. I think I paid like $550, and it covered so much.
Is
Um,
that the down payment or is it over time?
oh no, that was the whole damn policy,
So
baby.
that's where a lot of people who don't have that full income, they don't have that initially to put down on a
So
business. That's
okay,
where it
so
next to come
but
in.
you can make monthly payments on it just like any other insurance. I want to say probably like my down payment was like $76.
Okay.
But
And I'm with Progressive with my auto insurance, so that
the
should
only
not be hard.
insurance that I've ever incurred where you had to make the full payment up front was like earthquake and flood insurance.
Right. Which if you in the South,
You gotta
get
have
it.
it,
You need
but
to
you
have
have
it.
to pay the premium for the whole year.
Yeah.
Or, you know, and I've seen insurance companies that will let you split the premium, but your insurance isn't effective until 30 days after you make that last payment. So,
Right.
you know,
And for
that's
the love of God, people, make sure your business is in good standings. Don't go to Progressive talking about you need business insurance and you didn't pay that $35 to make sure your business was in good standings. And I understand because I've been a victim of that. I haven't been on top of checking it, right? You know, because life just happens. Life be lifing. And you don't
life.
realize that, oh shoot, I'm not in good standings. You can pay for it the same day, it's supplied the same day, you're back in good standings. Okay. Y'all stop playing with your life like that.
I
Uh-uh.
can't. All right, y'all. I think that's pretty much all we got in
Yes,
regards
that's it.
to business formation and business credit. It's been amazing talking to y'all, giving y'all some
Yes.
good game. Hopefully, y'all got everything y'all needed from us. And if not, we'll see you next time.
Bye.